Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make millions more inside your aviation business using a form of leverage that is fairly new compared to a lot of the old forms of leverage that we use within business. Now, before I get into this, the main reason I'm doing this video is that I recently changed my channel from aviation adventures, flying tips and tricks to incorporate a bit more of my business side, and a business that I've launched 18 months ago as of the time of recording this video in the aviation or the general aviation space called Copilot Software. And I wanted to do a bit of a deeper dive into how we're actually doing that and providing a service within the industry. So the way that I'm going to do that, I'm going to first cover a bit of leverage and give you a bit of context around how we slot in and help aviation businesses use modern day leverage to amplify their services and automate their businesses as well. So let's get into it. So what I'm going to do first is go over 4 main components of leverage that you can use within your business. Some have been around for a very long time, and some are fairly new, and some have been around for a while but have drastically changed in the access that we have to them as especially smaller businesses. So let's get started. The first form of leverage, you're gonna have to excuse my handwriting in this. Okay, so the first form of leverage is labor. That's spelt, I'm obviously from Australia, but that's UK English for all of my American friends. First form of leverage is labor. Obviously, labor has been around for a long time. It's the type of leverage that the Egyptians used to build pyramids. Most aviation businesses, it's the first form of leverage that you have to implement to classify yourself as having a business. If you don't use any of these forms of leverage in your business currently, then I'd actually argue that you don't have a business yet. You've just got a job. You've just bought yourself a job. If you're doing all the work and you don't have any form of leverage, you just have a second job. So I'm sorry to ruin your day if that's what you're currently doing, but hopefully you get some value from this video and you can look at some of these forms of leverage to implement into your business. So that's the first form of leverage that I want to go over. It's pretty self-explanatory. We all understand, most of us that own businesses will understand how you can use labor to leverage. You need staff to do tasks. Once you hire staff to do those tasks, as an owner or a manager, you can move on to other tasks that help build you and grow your business. So pretty easy, simple, explanatory one. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second form of labor that I want to discuss with you today. It's a fairly common one that's been around also for a long time, and it's capital. So borrowing funds, investing a smaller amount of your funds to leverage capital, whether that's buying plant or equipment, aircraft, in the hope to get a bigger return. So you invest your money, you borrow some money back from a bank or a lender, and you invest that money hoping to get a bigger return than what you've invested already. Again, pretty self-explanatory form of leverage. And the bottom 2 here, I'm going to class, even though they're still very present in business today, I'm going to class these as the old school forms of leverage. And then in a second, we'll jump into what I'm calling the new school form of leverage. There's 2 other key factors that we need to accommodate when we're looking at these 4 forms of leverage. And to borrow a quote from Alex Hormozy in a video that he's done about leverage, the bottom 2, capital and labor, require permission. So labor, you have contracts with staff, you have to go through a hiring process, staff leave, there's turnover. So you need permission from staff members to actually go ahead with the job that you're asking them to undertake. Capital requires applications, funds, good credit, all of these kind of parameters, and you need permission to borrow money off other people. The third form of leverage that I want to talk about, which is going to be in the category of no permission required, especially these days. And I feel like, in a way, this next one has moved from needing some form of permission into needing no permission at all. So this next form of leverage is one you're watching right now, and it's media. Obviously media has been around for a long time as well, and you could still class it as a fairly old school form of leverage within your business. But in the past, you needed to pay. So the barrier to entry was a lot higher as far as needing permission, needing to pay to be in magazines, pay to be in newspapers, pay to be on a news report, pay to be on a channel or put an ad on TV, and so forth. So big corporations had a lot more control over the media, whereas today, what we all know as social media. Well, I don't even know why I bothered writing that. That says social media. Social media is free to an extent. So just like this video, I've set it up, we're recording it. The only thing that it costs me is the time to record once. And then the form of leverage that we have these days, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, is that once it's posted, it can be leveraged and it's there forever. So you can create content and leverage the fact that you do it once and it gets viewed 100, 1,000, 100,000, a million times, and exponentially grows. So that's the main difference between old school media and new school media, which is why I've put it into a new school form of leverage. And there's zero permission required these days. So something that's extremely powerful in today's business economy. So let's get into the final form of leverage that we can use. Okay, coding and software. Don't worry, I'm not going to expect you to know how to code. I don't know how to code. But luckily, code these days is reserved for the big players. You've got Google, Apple, all the big guys that own a lot of the platforms that software is built off. So there's not such a requirement for code, even though it is a huge form of leverage. I think long term, especially with AI and rapidly developing, that code is going to be reserved for big budgets, big companies that can leverage that to its full extent, and then offer base platforms for people to build software off. Okay. Now, where you can leverage software inside your aviation business is the main point that I wanted to get to with my business, Copilot Software. We've built a system specifically for aviation businesses, flight schools, helicopters, fixed wing, tour companies, jet flight experiences, aerobatic experiences, scenic tours, anything in general aviation, simulator companies. We're 100% all in on aviation with our software. But we've built a system that I'll show you in a second. I'll flip this over and we'll go over the basic structure of how this marketing system works and how you can utilize leverage within your business. But that's the new school. We've got old school, new school. You've got permission needed. You've got no permission needed. And if you're not using any of these, like I said, you've probably just got yourself a job. But if you're using a couple of them, you're probably starting to see the effects of leverage. If you can incorporate all four of these into your business, then you're on fire. You're, unless you're doing something seriously wrong, you're probably already winning fairly well in business. There's always areas to improve, but congratulations if you have some form of all four of these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the board over and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about how Copilot software works in general aviation businesses. Okay, so a little bit of pre-warning on this one, to excuse my voice. Lost my voice, but I thought I've got to do this video anyway. So the whole basis of developing Copilot software started when I went through my fixed wing flight training, and I realised that the aviation industry, it didn't really have there's so much talent and skill within the services you provide, but from a marketing perspective, I feel like as a whole, the general aviation industry is still very much behind the eight ball. And having businesses from the age of 23 and going through my own marketing processes and through trial and error and understanding this the opportunity that is now available in the online space for marketing and digital content creation. I wanted to design a system that was easy to use for aviation businesses and encompassed everything that is available to leverage your online presence and, you know, an all-encompassing digital marketing solution for aviation businesses. So bear with me. It is probably going to start looking fairly messy on this whiteboard, but I just want you to try and stick with me and follow through the process and understand that all of these systems that I'm explaining, there's a lot of detail in it, but we've built that into the software. So this isn't something that you need to go out and learn. This is something that we, as part of our onboarding, we set this up within your business. We walk you through every stage and we agree on how you want to communicate with your customers, you know, the look of your advertising, the look of your landing pages, the SMS, the emails, the automations that go out within the software. Make sure that you're speaking to your customers within your language and the way that you communicate generally with them anyway. Okay, so let's look at the two main forms of online outreach. So you've got your paid ads and you've got organic content. And don't worry too much if you're not up to scratch with your organic content. This area can still be leveraged just from posting, you know, if you're a flight school, student achievements, if you're a flight experience or a scenic flying company, just customers enjoying the experience. And I'll show you how you can leverage that later on. Paid ads. So we help businesses set up their paid ads, everything from the content, so imagery, videos, the copywriting, so highly convert, you know, how to write good copy based on your offer. All of these are little nuances within paid ads. The detail of all of this we'll go into in another video, but this video is just about showing you the full system. I just want you to understand that within each of these categories, there are still checklists of criteria to go through to really make sure you're leveraging each component. But in a nutshell, you've got paid and organic content. We won't go into which platforms and we're on either of them, but I'll show you how the system works from here. From this paid and organic content, we need to have a call to action. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see general aviation businesses making, is that they're posting content. Yeah, someone went solo, here's a scenic flight, look how pretty it is, but there's no call to action. People see it, like the picture, oh yeah, awesome. But there's nothing to say, okay, take the next step, this is where we go. And that's what part of online marketing has to be. You need to start the journey, which is your outreach, take a customer from not knowing anything about your business to seeing an image, seeing a video, and becoming curious. Okay, so we're creating curiosity, and we need to have that call to action just to get them to take that next step. Now, what that next step might be could be a number of things depending on what your business is and what we'd set up for you. Okay, so those three main things that we would use. First one we could use is a landing page. You might be asking, why not use my website? A landing page is part of a funnel. A website is a general overview of all of the information that your business can provide to somebody. So there's a lot of distractions basically. So if you have top of funnel where you're trying to outreach to new customers and they don't know a lot about you yet, your call to action, whether it's paid or organic, has to be extremely specific, whether that's a trial flight, whether that's a discount on a scenic flight, has to be extremely specific. So you want your landing page to be specific to the call to action that you're making when you're first reaching out to customers. A landing page will have only information from the call to action that people have seen, okay, originally. Once they're on the landing page, you'll have, we can either do VSLs, which is called a video sales letter. Could be yourself or one of your staff members explaining in further detail about your product or service. We can have frequently asked questions, and once again, like your paid ads and your organic content with all these checklists and other criterias, the same thing goes to having a high converting landing page. That's a video in itself again, which I will make for the channel. So if you are getting some value so far, make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm going to keep putting some of this business content out along with the flying videos that I used to, and some adventures and just anything aviation related that I'm involved in. Okay, so we'll move on to the next option that we have to send your traffic to, whether it's organic or paid. Oh, what have I done there? Like I said, it's going to start getting pretty messy, but stick with me. Okay, so depending on your product or your service, sometimes it's better to send someone from a paid ad or an organic content straight to a form. Okay, this form might be where you grab name, phone number, email, and the reason we do that is that you might have the perfect offer, you might have exactly what someone's looking for, but the timing for them could be off. It's too expensive right now, they need to save up for it. You know, all of the objections we have, we can handle the objections as much as we can, but sometimes in certain scenarios we're better off sending customers to a form, they hand over their details, and then we look at lead nurturing over a longer period of time. Okay, once again, this is all automatic. Everything that we're talking about here, once we do the initial setup, everything is automated, and that's the form of leverage of software that you can use for your marketing systems within your business. And this last option that you could implement into your business, okay, so this is community. Generally, community is if you have courses, information for your business, student portals, this is where you can house everything to do with your business. And the reason that communities are working so well currently is that through these other forms of channels, you can get customers that will drop off over time. But through a community, you can create two. You can have a free community and then a paid version of a community. Think about it like a Facebook group that you own. This is inside your business. All of your students, all of your customers can leverage this community. They can opt in for free, where you build in some value inside your community, and then inside the community you promote your upgrades into a paid community, where obviously if you're offering courses, if you're offering services, if you're offering webinars, all these sorts of layers that you can build into having a community within your business. Now, the next step within the software is, I'd say, the biggest form of leverage in the current market, and what is separating, businesses that are struggling or staying stagnant and not progressing to where they want to be. People that are implementing this in their business are the ones that are really seeing the benefits, especially now because it still is such an early stage of development for this type, and that is automation. When we talk about automation, we talk about lead nurturing specifically, and channeling leads into their correct buckets, so to say. Okay, so you have an opportunity that you've reached out to, they're not quite ready. Okay, 3 months' time, they get moved into a channel where the automations will send a text message, an email, or even a voicemail automatically to outreach again, find out where they're at, let you know if they need to be converted, or put them back in a bucket to reach out to them again. So once again, the automation that's built into the software is extremely complex, but we've done that all for you. So you don't have to worry about the complexity. We go over this in the setup within your business, and we go into a lot further detail. So there is a checklist, there is a lot of information behind the automations, but this is where the powerful stuff all happens. So we've covered what we call the front end of your business within the software. So if we go, okay, this is front, haven't left myself much room. Yeah, let's just go front and I don't know why I bother writing that. It says front end. And what we'll call this section is back end. Back end. That's better. Okay. So from your automations, this is the back end of your business. So you imagine, you've done your outreach, you've nurtured your lead, they become a customer through your automations, and then we've got a happy customer down here. Hey, everyone's happy. Once you have a customer in-house, or if you're an established business, you might have an existing database of contacts. The two main ways that we can leverage existing customers are, I have to make that bigger. There we go. Affiliates and referrals. This will depend on the type of aviation business that you have. Affiliates, there's a number of different ways you can set up systems for affiliates. Once again, all the nuances are here to build a system out for your business. And referrals. So depending on the nature of your business, if you've got a flight school where you have a lot of reoccurring revenue from a customer coming in the front door to when they actually finish with you, compared to a flight experience, a scenic tour, more of a higher ticket one-off type product, then you might want to leverage referrals. We have systems to track your data, sign up affiliates, or have referral programs within the software as well. So these are ways that you can, once again, use leverage of your existing customers. The second main way you can leverage existing customers, so that's one, let's go this way. These are reviews. Whether that's Google, whether that's Trustpilot, all of the review platforms that you can use around the world. You can have a funnel to request reviews. Now, what we can also do with the reviews is automatically populate all of your reviews. Don't know how I'm going to do this without making it look messy. Okay, we're going for it. Ready? We're going to go. That's not even an arrow. Oh my God, what have I done? Okay, there we go. That's an arrow. Onto your landing pages, or into your ads, into your organic content. So you can see we have a full life cycle. Taking customers from not knowing who you are, not knowing what you do, all the way through a process, nurturing leads, putting people in the right funnel depending on the level of interest, using automation to do majority of the work here. Once they pay you money, using two main forms, once again of leverage, highly automated, to help leverage new customers coming in, see that other customers are achieving what they're looking for, getting the results that they're looking for, and ultimately making you a lot of money. Okay, so like I said, it is going to look pretty messy. It's a lot of arrows, a lot of drawings. This is all the hard work we've done. You don't have to worry about that. I will go into further detail about each component, each stage of what the software can do for you. But if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. Get in touch, jump on a Zoom meeting with us, and we can go over how Copilot software can help your business. There'll be another video here. I don't know what it is yet. I'll just make YouTube. They're pretty smart people. They can choose what they put here, and I'm sure you'll get some value from it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.